Welcome to our second session, our checking-in session for the Summer School of Entrepreneurship for All. We're just going to wait just a few seconds for everyone to join in. It's super great to see a lot of familiar faces and some new ones as well. That's great. So thank you for joining in. Okay, I think that we are ready. Let me introduce myself. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Marianela Parra from Ventani Education. With some colleagues here. Thank you for backing us up here on this second session. So let's start. Let me share my screen 1 second so that we can all share today how we're doing and how is learning going during this summer and so on. Okay, so let me share my screen very quickly. And let me remind you, especially to those of you who are new to Entrepreneurship for All, that Entrepreneurship for All is a learning ecosystem in which all of us are welcome. Those of us who have an idea of becoming an entrepreneur are starting to juggle with the idea of becoming an entrepreneur, but also for those who are already established entrepreneurs and experienced entrepreneurs, because we believe in Entrepreneurship for All, that it's all about learning from each other, learning from experience, learning from others as well. So given and being generous here in the entrepreneurship world, it's one of our pillars. So today we want to check in with you. Today is more about you. Okay, so let's start by saying hello in the chat. You are welcome to write your name and give us a number. How are you feeling about your summer learning? Okay, we've been in already over a week, I believe that we started about a week ago, most of us. So let us know in the chat how you're doing, okay? If you're feeling super happy about your summer learning, give us a 5, show us a 5. If you are not so convinced, yes, you can be super honest and let us know about it. Maybe a 2, maybe hopefully not a 1. I'm going to open the chat 1 second to say hello to some of you. Let's see.
Well, I can update you a little bit, Marianela. We've got lots of 5s throwing around, a few 4s as well. A very honest looking 3 from Christiane, but that's okay. Hopefully we can improve that mood.
Lovely. Okay, because I mean, I am super happy, but if I have to be super honest about how am I doing with the 2 learning paths that I started a week ago, I would have to go maybe to an average because I haven't been as quick as I wanted. But really enjoying the content, finding some fascinating things in there. So lovely. So feel free to use the chat to ask questions, share how you're doing, okay? If you want to say something, do raise your hand. We're going to unmute you. We would love to hear from you, okay? So before we go into this sharing section, I would love to share with you a little bit about us, how we're doing in this summer school, okay? About the learners, where we are from, how many of us are there. You know, we have over, correct me if I'm wrong, Megan, because you have the numbers right on the top of your head, but I think we have over 300 people registered to the summer school who are already engaged in the learning, correct?
We're very close to 300. We've got 282, but maybe we'll reach that 300.
Lovely.
So please tell your friends so that we can reach that number.
Yes, of course. You can still register. Registration is open. I'm going to show you in a minute. Okay, so let's see a little bit about our learners. Okay, age range. Let's see where we are. Okay, you can see there on screen that we have about 10% of young entrepreneurs who want to be entrepreneurs, and that's fantastic. I can't say us because I'm further down that chart, but most of our learners are from 26 to 35, about 30% up to 45, and we have also about 20% of very experienced entrepreneurs. So this is fantastic. This is our age range, and we love this because it's all about diversity and exchanging experiences, okay? So this is about age, but what about gender? Most of us, because about 3% chose not to answer, but about 62% are women and 35% are men. So thank you for that. Wonderful. Experience level. This is a very interesting one, okay? We can see that about 30% of our learners this summer are not an entrepreneur yet, but want to be, are starting to think about being an entrepreneur, and that's fantastic. About a quarter of us have just, it's just starting out, okay? And they already have an idea in their minds, they already have starting to create a plan, but are not sure how to bring it to reality. And I'm sure you're going to find tons here in Entrepreneurship for All to make your, it sounds a bit of a cliche, but it's true, make your dream come true. And about 36% already are experienced entrepreneurs, but do feel they need to develop some competences, some skills. There are some areas that are still have room for improvement, and we love this. We should always be learning, right? There's always room for improvement. And about 9% of our learners this summer are very experienced entrepreneurs and are running success businesses. And this is fantastic, good for you. So we do need a lot of your advice. However, do remember that we have one of our paths, and I'm going to show you in a second. It's about reflecting and growing. It's for everyone at every stage, but it's especially interesting for those who are very experienced and already have a business going on. So going back and reflecting on your journey, your competences, your skills, what you have achieved so far is an interesting way to make a little pause and move forward. Okay, so let's see. Location. You know me, I love maps. And I love seeing that we are from about 52 different countries. Okay, you have here on screen our top 10. Italy being super high there, but it's lovely to see that we have so many learners from other parts of Europe as well, like Norway and Finland and Romania and Poland, but also a lot from South Africa, Namibia, Mozambique. Welcome to everyone. Uganda, Ethiopia, Nigeria, Ghana, Morocco, Egypt. A lot of entrepreneurship for all throughout Africa, but also in Pakistan, in India, in Cambodia, in my personal dear Thailand, Indonesia. We have learners from Nepal, from Malaysia, from Ukraine. This is fantastic. From Cyprus, Azerbaijan, Armenia. I mean, the list is very, very long. From New Zealand as well, from Peru. So welcome everyone. We hope this map keeps on turning blue in this case. And about our summer school focus, okay, what people are most interested in, it's quite even. If you see entrepreneurship being the top one, developing that entrepreneurship mindset is still one of our priorities, as this chart shows, but we also have about 15% interested and going through the women's entrepreneurship path, and about 18% in sustainability. We can see that digital comes up to 22% as well. Financial 19%. So this is great. We're quite good, which means that we are let's say sharing with everyone pathways, learning paths for everyone to cater to their own needs. So this is really great. We just wanted to share with you that we're very happy with our summer school, with our Entrepreneurship for All summer school, which has been pushed by the European Union. You know, they are our engine behind it. Our dear Ismea and DG Grow always pushing us to develop new things for you. So this is great news. Now, just a quick reminder, okay, before we start sharing, because this is our check-in session and we want you to check in with all of us, okay? We have some of our partners here in this meeting, which is great. So everyone is ready to answer your questions. So I just wanted to remind you, and especially those of you who joined us a bit late and couldn't join our first session, that there are two ways to tackle our summer school, okay, this year. There are two ways. We have two options, let's say. And option number one, okay, it's based on your entrepreneurial journey, based on your experience, okay? how far or are you in your entrepreneurial journey? Are you starting out? Are you already developing a business? Have you been in business for some time already and need to develop some? So we have developed 4 learning pathways for you to choose. Okay, so this is option 1. You can go down this road, which is super interesting. But for the summer, we created 4 other paths. Okay, because we heard you. We heard your feedback. We're all about changing and updating, and we understood that some of you needed to focus on some specific areas, right? So we created these innovator paths, okay, which we have made available for you during this summer school, which are the entrepreneurship innovator, the sustainability innovator, financial, digital, and women entrepreneur innovator. Okay, so you can go down those two options. Actually, if you go to our website, and I'm sure my colleagues are sharing that in the chat, and you go to the events, okay, you click on events. Actually, let me go back so I can show you. If you click on events, you're going to find all of our events, but you're going to find the first one here is the Entrepreneurship for All Summer School. So if you go in here, okay, do remember our registration is still open. So if you have friends and colleagues who still want to join, just redirect them here and they can register, no problem. They'll receive everything, recordings, everything. But if you scroll down a little bit, you will find some resources specially for you, okay? Number 1, a very step-by-step guide on how to create an account if you haven't, or how to log in if you already created an account and go straight to your learning. Okay, so there's a little guide there for you. But we also have some tutorials here. You can see them. If you click on them, it will open directly to the tutorial in which we are going to tell you which courses to take in which order according to the innovator path that you are taking. Okay, actually, if I scroll down a little bit, we have provided at the end of each of these tutorials a little checklist, let's say, for you to make sure, for you to see which one is your next step. Okay, so there are tutorials here for you, but we have also uploaded a very interesting resource, and it's the Being Entrepreneurial Guide. Okay, if you click on it, okay, it's going to redirect you to the EU platform. And in here, you can download the Being Entrepreneurial Guide, okay? This guide is super interesting because the way it works, I'm going to show you in a minute. Let me move it to your screen. The way it works is that once you're in, okay, I've just scrolled down a little bit. It's a short introduction, let's say, to what being entrepreneurial at European level means. But when you scroll down, you're going to find a little link here, okay? And once you click on it, it's going to ask you honestly 2 or 3 questions, tops, just to know which area you're interested in, okay? And according to those 2 or 3 answers that you give, you are going to receive a personalized guide, okay, to your specific area, okay, that you're asking for, okay, according to different areas of entrepreneurship, but also according to all areas that have to do with work, with small and medium enterprises, with entrepreneurship itself, of course, with education and training, etc. Okay, so it's super interesting because you're going to get so many links to so many cases and resources. It's really fantastic. So we do advise you to click on it and take a look to see what you can get. Okay, and for those of you who missed session 1, you can watch the video again. You can see the presentation. We have everything here for you. All righty. So coming back to our presentation, I just wanted to share with you because we're eager to hear how you're doing. Now, get your phone, okay, and use that QR code. Feel free to use that QR code or the link that we are sharing in the chat, of course, if you need to. And maybe Megan, I can stop sharing and you can share yourself, because we have a couple of questions with you, okay? For you, I mean. And we're going to just wait for the screen.
Just a
Let
second.
us know if you have been able to access our Slido.
Here we go.
Lovely. And let's take a look at question number 1, okay? Have you completed an Entrepreneurship for All course? This is anonymous, so you can be super honest. Now, yes, just 1 for now. Very good. Not yet, but I know which ones I want to do. That's fantastic, okay? And we are here for you. If you need help, if you need a push, if you have questions, please let us know, okay? More than 1, I'm in a row. Well done. 23% are already have already enrolled in more than 1. Actually, we know behind the scenes that a lot of you have finished quite a few courses already, and that makes us super happy. So, okay, this is good to know. This is good info for us, okay? Which means that you do want to do one. You already know which one to start with. So honestly, just go and start. I did share last week with you that it sometimes 3 weeks might sound like very short time. But I've been through a few, and I can tell you, you have more than enough time to go through quite a few. So feel free to start right now, and do keep present that we are here for you if you get stuck, if you have questions, if you need a push to keep on going, okay? So this is great. Thank you, Megan. Let's go on to the next one. Okay, for this one, okay, I would love everyone, for those of you who already have a business and for those of you who are starting, okay, with the idea of becoming an entrepreneur, who already have something in their mind about where to start their entrepreneurship venture, please let us know, what challenges did you face when starting out, or are you facing right now? Okay, bureaucracy being one of them, bookkeeping, finding co-founders, very good. What else do we have here? Financial support, finding a support network, accounting, great. Thank you for sharing this. I think I missed a couple at the beginning. Imposter syndrome, yes, I've faced that many times. Embracing insecurity and risks, employment of correct profile, success in market and channels, of course, financial again, skyrocketing corruption of state institutions, yeah, disabling supporting environment for business, yeah, finding early stage funding, too many questions, accounting and bureaucracy being a top one, initial funding, yes, that worries many of us, administrative workload, financing, marketing, promotions, fiscal regulations, imposter syndrome. Thank you for being so generous with your answers. This is fantastic. And it's good to see that we're all on the same boat, right? We're all facing some of the same challenges, and this is a great space for us to share these and how to tackle them. Funding, initial funding, sense of isolation. Yes, I remember that on session 1, our dear Paul, our speaker, was telling us how it could feel very lonely and how we needed to make a special effort in bringing in or being part of a network who could support you, not even, of course, with ideas or financially, etc., but also because they are on the same journey as you are, and how important this was. Motivation to keep going through challenges, funding and regulations. Where to start? Yes, where to start. Actually, in Entrepreneurship for All, you will find a lot of these in the pathway number 1 about how and where to start. So this is fantastic. Thank you for sharing these answers. Before we go on to the next one, please, open your microphone. Let us know if you want to share some of these. Some of you are already facing, these are true challenges that you are facing. So if you want to share with us a little bit of how you are going through these challenges, that would be fantastic, okay? So raise your hand or turn on your microphone because we would love to hear from you. A little bit about your challenges. Okay, I think Oniya raised her hand. Welcome, Oniya. Thank you for being here.
Yeah, thank you very much. My name is Julius Onia. I'm from
Julius,
Nigeria.
I'm sorry. I read it. Yeah, okay, thank you.
Yeah, I'm from Nigeria. A small business, can also say a startup. I have two businesses I'm doing. One, the educations, where we preach quality educations, and secondly, organic farming. So, major challenge, like I said, has been funding. In terms of capacity buildings, some of us that have access to phone and always online, we have opportunity to programs like this that has really helped us to innovate and to be creative and to find our market. But back to the selling, in a business where you use a small capital and you are competing with a big market, the same product and the same user, and when you produce in a large quantity, you have a way of selling it at a lower price. Okay, let me give you an example about one of my product. My farm, I have 1 hectare of land, and I the cost of now compare with someone that have 20 hectares of land, we are producing the same thing. And these big time people who have access to funding and the whole things, they don't deal with wholesale alone. They try as much as possible to come directly to your consumers to sell. So it's becoming a little bit challenge. And you don't even have, and sometimes you need to save business you are supposed to do like within 6 months. You have to save money, save and save before you can execute that project. Going to bank, they'll be asking you for collateral and this and that. Imagine you have that collateral. Is there any need of going to bank? So the funding has been a major challenge. I understand capacity building is good, and thank God for the online resources and every other thing. Some of us have access to it, but it still fall back when you are building. You need something to build, like resources. Thank you. So funding has been a major challenge. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Julius, for sharing that. And as you have seen on screen, funding is one of our main challenges that we face when starting our own business. Thank you for sharing your story. I'm sure I would love to know if you have started any of the pathways yet, and if you're finding some interesting info that would help you in this matter.
Yes. I've started expanding your business, because I already have a business I'm doing. So I just needed something yes, that is it. And I think I will soon finish. Thank you.
Thank you, Julius. Thank you for sharing that. And I'm sure many other are facing a financial or challenge in this sense, just like you are. Thank you. And also, you mentioned it at the beginning. It's when you start your business, you are competing with a big market out there, right? And you feel very small and starting out. So thank you for sharing this. There are some more answers on screen, which are fantastic. Some little stories here. I have run my company for more than 7 years and everything went well. I was forced to stop working for 6 months due to serious illness. Challenge is to re-enter the business and find new clients. Okay, so maybe yes, a bit of rethinking your purpose there and marketing. Very good. I'm sure you're going to find some of these. And we have a lovely speaker today who I'm sure can give you some ideas on that. We'll hear about from her in a second. That though we're not enough, not smart enough, not knowledgeable enough, not ready enough, this is the imposter syndrome that really attacks us so often. I think that Flynn Thompson has raised his hand as well. We would love to hear from you. Thank you for being here.
Hello. Oh, my camera's not on. There you go. Can you see me now?
I could see a cat, but now I see.
Oh, I can see me now. Yeah,
now I see
now it's a
you.
ginger person. Yeah.
Hi, Flynn.
Yeah. So I've just graduated from university and in a law degree. So not exactly helpful in the business world, but I did a module in business and sort of got introduced into it through a networking event, and kind of seeing the messages there being like taking the leap. I'm not sure when to start. I'm not strong enough or something on those lines. Well, I'm 21, first of all, and in 2 days I decided to go to a networking event and stand in front of about 80, 90 people, and I'm just going to talk about what I want to do. So it's not even so much as I've got an idea and I've got plans for it, but haven't built anything properly because I want to help younger people in careers or starting out in their careers, graduates in interpersonal skills. So communication, emotional intelligence, stuff that I think I'm good enough at to explain to people. But the thing is, I don't know if I'm good at that until I actually try it with people. So if I don't ask the people who I need to help first, then I'll never get through. So I thought, I'm just gonna have to go. I'm gonna have to speak to them.
Well done.
Because then if I can get people on board with that, then eventually I'll have a list of people who are interested, and then I can sort of go on from there. And plus, my age is my USP. Not many 21-year-olds wanting to help with a 21-year-old, so hopefully I can push myself out there and just sort of move the line along. Because if I wait until I've built the perfect workshop, built the perfect client email, or built the perfect way to reach people, I may have already, gone past the point where they needed me, or that client doesn't need me anymore. So if I just start now, then I can get the ball rolling. And it's a difficult thing to do, but I think the best thing to do is if you can find somewhere where there's a lot of people in one room and you can not sell to them, but tell them the story of what you want to do, then it should work well. Because I see it a lot where people don't have the perfect thing, but they're successful because they just keep trying over and over again.
Exactly. Flynn, I think we needed to hear you today, definitely. And thank you for being here. And yes, it is sometimes about being brave, right? And jumping in. And as you're saying, you're 21. Listen, 21 is your top medal there. So don't, of course, I mean, especially if you are reaching younger people, they will relate to you way better than to older experienced people. I'm sure you're gonna turn it into a very positive thing. So yes, I love that you're sharing with us that yes, you're just going to this huge networking event in which you're just standing there. And yes, it is a little bit about selling yourself and selling your idea. Yeah. So thank you. Good luck.
Thank you.
Please keep us posted, and this platform is for you. If you need to reach out to people, do join our LinkedIn group so that you can tell us all about it, how it went. We're going to be, when is it? In 2 days, right? Did you
2 days, yeah.
We're going to be thinking of you in 2 days, and you're going to come back next Wednesday, and you're going to tell us all about it.
Thank you.
Thank you and good luck. This is fantastic. Being brave, getting out there, sharing your ideas with others. And you said something really important there. You have to get to know your audience. If you are thinking of reaching young people, you need to hear them. You need to be there for them. Yeah, thank you. Fantastic. Lovely, lovely. Flynn, thank you for sharing that with us. Thank you, everyone, for being so generous and honest, sharing your challenges. So let's see the next question that we have, next and last. You're already part of Entrepreneurship4All, all of you, and you know that we have courses covering entrepreneurship and digital and financial and sustainability and women's entrepreneurship. But what other skill areas should entrepreneurs develop? Okay, what are we missing? Well, what else should we master as entrepreneurs? A couple of you already answering narrative competence. Flynn, you just mentioned it, right? How to sell yourself. Yeah, narrative competence. Leadership skills, storytelling. Yes. emotional navigation, well-being, networking, using AI as a devil's advocate, yeah, and how to really do deep research through it. Well done. We had an AI academy not long ago, a couple of weeks ago. You can go and check them on the events page as well. You'll find some very interesting things there. Resilience, presentation skills. We go back to the narrative storytelling presentation. AI workflows again. International market accessing. Yes, interesting. Financial literacy. Negotiating skills. Well done. This is an important one. What else do we have here? Resilience and adaptability, accounting, financial literacy. Yes, we have a lot of that in our Entrepreneurship for All courses. Agility skills, agility, interesting. Yes, you have to adapt, quick, try, change and adapt. Yes, narrative competence, we've seen it. Communication. Yes, well done. This is a list of very interesting skills that we should all develop. Well done. Okay, lovely. Thank you for sharing this. The link is still open. If you want to share more, please do so, because we will be sharing this on our session 2 resources so that we can all access this info as well. There's outbound strategies as well. Well done. Lovely, lovely. Thank you. Being emotional intelligence, networking, and leadership skills are top ones. Okay, so this is great. Thank you. Thank you for sharing all of this. So if anyone, before we move on to our dear speaker, if anyone would like to comment on one of these skills or skill sets or competences, please feel free to raise your hand. We would love to hear about you. Why do you think one of these or the one you wrote is important? Please either raise your hand. Yes, Sinead is here ready to share with us. Welcome, Sinead.
Hi, everybody. Thanks for the session. I think it's kind of a mix of resilience and adaptability in handling setbacks. I found, especially working with female entrepreneurs, that it's the keeping going. And that is something that, you know, there's a lot of support around the idea, the ideation process, how you highlight this. But actually, when the idea comes back, especially when people are showing vulnerability in the development of their business as well, I think that aspect of that this is part of the making your business better, that could be really, really interesting, because it's something that is not, you know, when you go to events, it's all about the upside, but that aspect of the how do you use this unexpected result to make your business better?
Lovely. Thank you, Sinead, for sharing that. You're absolutely right. Adaptability and resilience. Yes, it's like that saying from design thinking. Do not fall in love. You know, you have to fall in love with a problem so that you are always willing to adapt and really solve you know, adapt your business so that it becomes better and better. Thank you. Lovely, lovely. Julius, I think you have your.
Sorry, Mariella, may I just build on that? Because
yes, of course.
When we say that falling in love with the problem, you're absolutely right. But what I found with some of the cohorts I've worked with is that it's that gap between the, what does that mean? And I think that's the bit where there's kind of a opportunities lost with really good ideas. So that would be, if we could tap that, it would be amazing.
Absolutely. Thank you, Sinead. Thank you. I think Julius has his hand up.
Yeah. Addition to what the other colleagues just said about resilience, because sometimes your business plans might not fit in as the business go on. So ability to be strong and to navigate your way, bringing up a strategy and re-strategizing your strategies, because sometimes what you have on paper does not really work out when you start the business.
Almost never.
Yeah. So you need to be resilient, you need to believe in yourself, and you need to always find a way out and make use of all the resources available, like a program like this. I'm sure it's worth dollars if you want to go out to get it, but you're getting it free. So you need to be out there to get such knowledge to build yourself. Thank you.
Thank you, Julius. Thank you for building on that. Thank you very much. Okie dokie. So I am super happy to share with you. Let me show you. Our dear colleague, Roz Din, is here. She is part of the women's organization, but she's an entrepreneur herself. And today she's going to share a lot with us about these challenges and how it all started for her. And in her journey, in the entrepreneurial journey, there's a lot of learning, of development, these words that you have here on screen: innovation, confidence, well-being, and also woodwork. So I'm super honored. We are very happy and thankful, Ross, for having you here. Thank you. Welcome. And the microphone is all yours. Tell us a little bit about your journey, about yourself.
Hello. So this is quite unusual because obviously normally I talk about entrepreneurship from my job role and creating content. So to actually talk about what I do as my side project is quite exciting. So I do teach woodwork for well-being, and I've been doing it for 5 years now. So it's like my little passion project that I do. I started just around the COVID time. So it was kind of all starting then stopping, and there was a lot of thinking about the problem solving involved and how to get around that. But we made it through and we grew stronger. So the core values of the business is about tackling isolation, getting people away from screens, and actually getting them to do something playful that is good for their mental health and their well-being. So I've taught workshops like evening classes where I get together about 10 people and they do 10-week courses with me. But I also do little pop-ups. So yesterday lunchtime, I was at a community garden and I had a group of retired women, and they'd never done woodwork before, never picked up a drill. And we spent a few hours and they created a planter between them using a circular saw and a drill. So that's what I do, and it just gives people a sense of empowerment. So I'd say, like, when I first started, there were a lot of things that I just didn't know anything about. Like, I knew about the woodwork aspect because I used to be a woodwork teacher many lifetimes ago in secondary school, and I knew what I was doing with that. But in terms of thinking about how do I apply all the little bits around it, like thinking about the finance, the legal, the social media, all those things, it was so new to me at the time. So I'd very much talked about it, thought about it, but at the end of the day, it's exactly like Flynn said before. You just have to do it, and you have to put yourself out there, and you have to talk to people and say, hey, I've got this crazy idea. And then people are like, yeah, I love it. When can you start? So
this is great. Was it easy? Did you just jumped right in, or some parts were harder than others, I guess?
Definitely. So in terms of having this idea, it was me just starting to talk to people in my network. And what I did previous was very much digital, computer, things like that, and just turning around to people and networking and saying, hey, I want to teach people woodwork away from computer screens. And then not long after them conversations, someone said to me, I've got a workshop. When can you start? Can you start in 3 weeks? Yeah, just 10-week course. So it wasn't just, okay, it's happening, let's do this, and kind of worry about it later, and just start thinking about so I'd say the actual core of it, the teaching of woodwork, got that down to a T. But thinking about things like the business bank account, thinking about how that works in terms of somebody paying me and doing my taxes, how do I set that up? What are the legal construction? How am I going to find people? How am I going to like advertise what I'm doing? It's just, the list was endless, but I'd say it was just, let's see what happens.
It's been worth it, I guess, and I'm sure there's been a lot of that adaptability and resilience that we've mentioned during this session. And Ross, is there something you would have, I mean, looking back right now, because you've been now doing it for a few years, as you just shared with us, but looking back, is there anything that you would have loved to know back then? Like, it would have been easier or better if I knew this, or if what's that thing that you would have loved to know back then?
I think knowing about the availability of grants available and the support networks would have been really helpful, but also that side of apps that can really help. So again, thinking about the finances. So in the first year, it was trying to work out, what receipts do I keep? What emails do I keep? I remember having a bit of a meltdown trying to do my first tax return and like just ringing people going, I don't know what's going on. I've learned that's the rite of passage when you start a business, is that you just kind of panic and then you find out actually it's not that bad. But at the time, it just, you've got all your receipts out and you're thinking, but now I just keep them all in a cardboard box.
So that's a good advice, the cardboard box.
Yeah, just get a shoebox, keep them all there. What can I claim for?
And did you ever think of the future at the beginning? I mean, I think sustainability is such an important thing right now in terms of not only because it's sustainable in terms of taking care of our planet, etc., but also the sustainability of your business. Did you worry at the beginning about that? Did you think of, I'll just see where this takes me, or were you really like seeing different scenarios and different paths? How was that at the beginning?
When I started, one of the main things I had to do was buy some woodwork tools. And obviously, I wanted to make sure that they were good quality tools. One, to save money in the long run and make sure I can repair them and make sure that they're safe and that they're going to limit, the impact on the environment, because I didn't want to just be buying cheap tools that were going to get, broken after 6 months of hard use. So I spent a lot of time researching the tools I was going to use, as well as thinking about the wood itself. So trying to make sure I was using sustainable wood. So it's totally thinking about it in the long term for me as a business owner, trying to save money on these good tools, but also thinking about the impact that's going to have on the environment as well.
That's good. Okay, so you did think about it right from the beginning. Lovely. Okay, so financially, you've shared it was hard for you. So maybe that financial area was the trickiest one in your case, right?
I mean, every area there's definitely complications. Like with the finance, it's say thinking about, okay, I need money to buy tools. Where do I get money? And like frantically Googling online, trying to find, grants that I could access that were relevant to the situation I was in and the business I was in. I think thinking about how much I should charge as well when it comes to finance, like
That's
trying to
hard.
do that market research, find out what am I worth, what should I be charging, how am I going to make a profit? So understanding my cash flow and what my bottom line needs to be was really important, and lots of like kind of notepads scrolling, like how can I make a profit out of this?
Great, lovely. And being a woman in business, especially in the wood in the wood business, was that a challenge? Was it a novelty? Was it good for you?
So it can still be challenging at times. I mean, yesterday when I was teaching a group of women, I did have some male audience for a while judging how I taught. So there's still that way that it can knock you, not experts
No.
themselves. But I guess it's trying to understand, that you don't feel threatened by it, knowing your confidence and your resilience. And again, it comes into knowing your worth, knowing that you're taught, you're trained, you know what you're doing. Other people can have their opinions, but it's not going to knock your confidence. But it's taken a while to get there, because to start with, again, you are imposter syndrome, you're questioning yourself and just trying to work out, that imposter syndrome as a whole thing, like who am I to go in and tell people? But then when you actually sit back and you look about what you've achieved, what your qualifications are, and think, no, I do belong in this space is for me as well, and being able to set like boundaries and just being confident to go out there and stand up and do it.
That's fantastic. Ross, thank you. Thank you for sharing your journey, your story, which is obviously very personal. And it all started in a moment. You did mention that it started with COVID. So you saw a need there, right? For well-being. You had your own, let's say, expertise on woodworking and crafting, and you are obviously been always a very creative person. Creativity has been one of your flags there. So you found a need, right? And that's how it all started. I'm good at this. There's people who need to be better, and I believe through woodworking wood. That's a beautiful story. Thank you for this. If anyone has questions for Ross, Ross is part of our experts behind Entrepreneurship for All, but she also has this very personal story as an entrepreneur. So that's why we wanted her so badly to be here, because she could speak from reality, right? Not from, as you said, not from a content creator shoes, but from being an entrepreneur shoes. So if anyone has a question or would love, yeah, great. You have some comments here in the chat, but do raise your hand if you want to say anything to Ross. That would be lovely. They're saying here, great story, buying good quality, using apps to help. Yes, we didn't mention digital. You did. So it was, even though you were trying to pull people from the digital world and creating something with their hands, digital's still part of our work, of our lives, and it has to still be part of the business, right? Using apps to help structure finance. Lovely. Yes. Know your qualifications and no imposter syndrome. Yes. Lovely. Thank you. If anyone, Flynn raised his hand. Lovely. Flynn, we're all ears for you.
Yeah, so one of the side projects I've kind of been doing is where I'm based in the Northeast. I've been going to my university and meeting other younger people who want to do business, and I've got about 15 of them in the group chat. And it's really difficult to find women who want to be involved in it. Not so much as the fact that I can't find them, it's just kind of an idea that, this is a group that's, collaborative, we try and support each other, but it's very difficult to get people involved in it. But when I speak to them one-on-one, sorry, guys, but they usually have better ideas, better plans for it, better actual sustainability for the idea, and most of the time they're sometimes cooler. Like, in terms of, I've met 3 women entrepreneurs now around my age, and the projects they all have are genuinely incredible. Like, could change the field that they're in, but they seem it's quite difficult for them to get involved in like community efforts. One-to-one, it's really good. And it's kind of the same with like guys, but like men usually find it easier to collaborate. But how have you found it when it comes to getting women to collaborate, not just with you, but with other people as well in that sort of community? Because I've found it quite difficult to do that, and I think it could really benefit them and others as well.
I found that creating female-only spaces has increased female activities in terms of woodwork, because a lot of the women that have come on courses have said they wouldn't have done it if men were there. I mean, it's very much
That's
like
fair enough.
such a psychological thing, but that was their honest feedback from it. So that, not that I still teach men woodwork too.
Yeah.
But those little sort of spaces have been really helpful to increase the number of women that have come on to actually try something new.
It's fine, and unfortunately I can't change that part of me, I guess, but whatever. That's fine. I kind of did expect that, but it's difficult because in one-on-one situations, like, it's fine and amazing, but I do sort of get that. And speaking to a few of them, especially, I know there's a girl in engineering who's, and technically I'm not allowed to say what she's making because it's patent pending anyways, but she's already got to that stage and it's incredible. But like, the shutdown she's got from male engineers specifically has been awful for her. Like, even females who aren't in engineering just basically saying, why are you doing this? You shouldn't be doing this. I'm just kind of started thinking, what are people doing? Why are people doing this? Because it's genuinely incredible work, and the university is supporting her and backing her up, but she finds it quite difficult to push through that. So I'm kind of wondering what helped you the most in pushing that through? Was it other people? Was it your own determination? Was it those support groups and networks? What was that one thing that really helped you push through that if you got that kind of feedback?
I was really inspired by other women doing similar things. And even before I went near any of this, like, women in comedy really inspired me. Seeing women get up and do comedy and like going out there, because that's this typical scenario where it's quite a male dominated world.
Yeah, it
But
is.
then to see women get up and do that and being loved for it, I was like, well, clearly the capability to go out there and do things is there. So that inspired me, and I've always kind of used that. And when I've seen other women doing things, like whether it's like engineering, plastering, taking on those kind of STEM kind of roles, I found that inspiring to me. So I think it's just finding that other women are doing that and being successful at it has been really helpful and making me go, well, I can do that too. I can take up space. I belong here.
Yeah, that's perfect. I'll keep that in mind, because there's a few entrepreneurs up here. Obviously, we've got Sarah Davies up in the Northeast, and people don't know about her, which is quite incredible to me. But thank you for that. I'll keep that very much in mind.
Thank you. Thank you, Flynn, and thank you, Ross. If there's anyone else who would love to ask Ross a question, of course, please let us know. And meanwhile, I just want to thank everyone for being here. This is your space to share. I said it at the beginning. I think I've said it way too many times. We believe in learning from each other. We believe in sharing our experiences, our challenges, our successes as part of this learning journey that we all are going through. So thank you for your generosity. And a way to keep this conversation going is to go to our LinkedIn group. Okay, let us know if you're already there, if you still want to join, and please make it your space, okay? This is a community of people like you and me who just want to learn and grow, honestly. So feel free to ask questions, to answer to others' questions, etc. This is not an expert and learner status thing. This is for everyone, okay? We all learn from each other. So welcome to our LinkedIn group, and be yourself there and share about yourself and others, okay? So, well, at the beginning of this session, most of you said, hey, I haven't started my course yet, but I know what to do. So you'd better start right away, people. No, honestly, there's such good stuff in Entrepreneurship for All. There's something for you. And the good thing is that you can pick and choose what you want according to your level of expertise, or according to your interest, or that area that you feel you need to develop better. So we are here, okay? You can write us an email. You can ask us via LinkedIn if you want. You can, there's so many ways, okay? You can phone me if you want to. But here we are for you, so that you can go through the courses and tell us all about it, okay? So that you can share. So next week, next Wednesday, we're going to get together again with more surprises. We would love to be able to celebrate our top learner next Wednesday. So we do have a full week to keep on learning, keep on going through those courses. It's great. What I find really good about these courses is that they're divided into small steps. So really, you have 5 minutes, you can go through a whole step, you know? So that's really good. It's a really on the go, you know, you're going to get in the train, commute back home for half an hour. You have more than enough time to go through a couple of steps. So that's one of the good things. That's one of the things that I find easy in my life, right? I do not need to block like 4 hours of study to be able to finish something. I just do it little by little, and well, I think that's marvelous about Entrepreneurship for All. No bias here. So, well, we're going to see you next Wednesday, okay? We have time until the 1st of August to finish. We are preparing your badges. Actually, if you go in the LinkedIn group, you will see one of our learners who just happily shared that he finished 4 learning paths, which is fantastic. And you're going to get your badges that you can share on social media, etc., and access, of course, to all of the resources. Okay, big hug for everyone. Keep on learning, keep on sharing. See you on the LinkedIn group and see you next Wednesday. Bye bye, everyone.
Thank you so much, everyone. Goodbye.